still messing with you.
No, it's good.
We gonna make it do what it do.
Hey, boy, I tell you.
Go somewhere and sit down.
Boy, you better sit down somewhere.
Go sit down.
What's up, good people? This is Real Talk with Mike Still. I'm back in the building, man. Y'all know how I do it, man. And if we sound like a bunch of robots today, because last show, man, I promise you, man, I couldn't even figure out why that I was sounding like an Autobot from Transformers. but I'm going to bring my good friend on in a minute. You don't see her yet. But I'm going to bring her on right now so y'all can be blessed like I'm blessed, and highly favored. I got a name, Mike Still, but I'm going to take it off, though. What's going on, good friend?
What's up, good friend? What's up?
Man, let me take this on. Let me get into here for a second. It's been a bit of a challenge today, but no weapon formed against me
shall prosper.
Yes,
no weapon formed against me
shall prosper.
It won't work.
Come on now. Come on. Hey, in a second, my friend, I'm gonna take these doggone names off of us, man. But look, hey man, in the building, man, I have my good friend Neonta Williams, man, and I'm gonna get into a proper introduction, I promise you. But before I get started, man, you know how I do, guys. I kind of do my thing. And I had on before, but I'm gonna ask her again. But I'm gonna ask her because every day is a new day.
Okay.
Every week is a new week, and every month is a new month, and so forth and so on. But before we get started, man, in one word, describe yourself again for my people, man.
I should have known.
Yeah.
I should have known you were gonna come with that.
Yeah.
One word.
Yes. That's how I do.
Ooh.
That's how I.
One word.
That's
determined.
How I do. Determined. Man, I guess that's well, I like that because in this day and time and what you're going through, determined to get it done.
Yeah, that's it.
Determined to get it done, man.
That's it.
I like that. Well, guys, let me give just a brief introduction. My friend Neonta is a proud graduate of Miles College Social Work Department, which I also attended myself. She played basketball 4 years for the Lady Bears. Did a great job while she was there. After Miles College, she enlisted into the military, U.S. Army, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, yeah. And since then, she has earned a master's degree in public administration from UAB.
That's it.
And founded the nonprofit organization, Black Alabamians for Education.
That one right there.
That's it. So, if y'all will, man, put your hands together for my good friend, Neonta Williams. And we won't stop.
Hype me up. Hey.
Hype me up.
Hey. Hype me up.
It ain't going to stop. It's going to keep going.
Thank you. Yes. Take a bow.
Man, come on.
Thank you. Hype me up. Hey. Hype me up. Hey. Look at God.
So, man, hey, that thing was going on and on to the break of door.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
I can rest now.
Hey, man, hey. When you get an introduction like that, it just won't stop. Why? Why make it stop?
That's good.
I got my shirt on, man. Oh, man, that thing look good.
It does. It does.
All right, man. Hey, man, Neonta.
Let's go.
Hey, man, so if y'all can read the caption, man, you probably already know why she's back on the show because she's been on before. And she's back on, man, because she's in the middle of a runoff election. On August the 26th, 2025, it was an election that took place for the Birmingham City School Board, District 2. And Neonta and another person, I won't call that person's name right now.
Facts, we don't need to talk about them. Yeah. It was two of them, but congratulations for them running.
Yes, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's Neonta's time. That's the reason why. But anyway, it's a runoff election. And, if you know anything about politics, it's got to be 51% of the majority vote, right?
It is actually 50% plus one.
Okay.
So not 51%, but literally 50% of the votes
plus one person. Woo!
Yep.
So I stand corrected. So Anyway, that is it. And now we're in the middle of a runoff in October the 2nd. 7th, I'm sorry.
That's it.
And it's right here. I'm looking at it. October the 7th is the runoff election. And we had to talk about this.
Yeah.
We had to kind of like, okay, what's up? That's where we are, man. Let's talk about your platform, because here's what I'm thinking, man. You know, like I mentioned, there's a runoff election October the 7th for District 2. You are the incumbent member. Why do you believe, we're just jumping right into
Let's
it.
Go. Let's get into it. Yep.
Why do you believe it has come down to a runoff between you and another person?
That's a great question. So first, as always, thank you for having me back on your platform. I do not take it for granted, because you got hundreds of thousands of millions followers and people are tapped in. And so, you have really mastered using this platform to be able to share out who we are, and not just who we are, but just giving our community a voice. And so I'm just really grateful, especially being that I've known you for a long time. So when Mike and I use the term friend, it is not, loosely like folks like, hey friend, what up friend? Like, no, we actually go way back. Yeah. So when we were young adults, trying to figure it out ourselves. And so thank you.
Well, thank you for saying that. Yes.
Yeah, I do appreciate it.
And you're absolutely welcome.
And so being here is an honor, it was an honor to be here the first time. And I think the first time we talked a lot about like who I am and what my background is.
Absolutely.
And so now I think, I don't know if this is unfiltered because we are on social, but this time we need to pop our stuff.
Hey man, pop your collar. That's what you're here for.
Yeah.
And I brought you on. I mean, I asked you to come back and you agreed to come back.
Yeah.
And yeah, man.
So why are we in a runoff? Well, because people have the right to vote, right? And so, that the election back in August of 26 was not only the school board members, it was city council members, and it was also a mayoral election. So, all of those different categories were contentious in different districts. And it was a lot of hype around getting voters out to the polls to vote. But the reality is, in 2021, we had about 26% of voters to turn out. And in 2025, we only had about 22% of voters to turn out. And so that being said, I feel like I'm talking with a lisp, even though I know I'm not. Do I sound like that?
Well, go ahead. I'm looking for that now.
Okay, because it sounds like that to me. And I'm like, I don't have a lisp now, and I don't have anything wrong with people who speak with a lisp. But I can take one on tonight if I need to, just make sure I, as my mom would say, enunciate my words. Yeah. So there were 3 of us in on the ballot for District 2 in the school board seat. And so we are here because the person who led in votes, in terms of numerical votes, did not receive that 50% plus 1. And so I was the runner-up, and so I earned the opportunity with just 11 votes higher than the third opponent on the ballot. And so that's why we are here in a runoff. I think also we're here in a runoff if I am to own my role in this. I probably could have, that sounds so much better. Yeah. I could have gone a little bit harder in the paint to let constituents know who I am and the fact that I was actually running, seeking a second term and serving, and also talking more to our voters about what we have done. And I say we, I'm talking about the board for the 4 previous years that I've served on the board, to talk about what this board has done. And so, I kind of relied on our work speaking for itself, but the reality is you also have to get back out in the community, make those personal points of contact and engage with people to let them know that you really do want to be in the seat. And so that's why I'm here, and I'm excited to talk about the things that we've done and what BCS is planning, Birmingham City Schools is planning to do in the future. Also talk about what has happened in our District 2 schools. So yeah, all of that. So that's why we're in the runoff.
Absolutely. And now that you're in the runoff, it is what it is now. Yep. It is, like you said, it's time to pop your collar.
Yeah, that's it.
So to speak, for lack of a better word. Let me just start here. Why is it important for you to continue as a Birmingham City School Board rep, if that's a is that what I'm saying? Birmingham City School rep?
Yes, that's correct.
Member.
It is important to me because over the last 4 years, this board has been able to, I would say, right ship the district. And that's something that hasn't been done prior to these 4 years. We were not, in my opinion, on the sort of trajectory that we are now. And the reason why I say this is because it was the very reason, the impetus for me running in 2021. I felt like during the pandemic, there was not enough that our district was doing to support the families that we serve within Birmingham City Schools. And as I said before, we have a lot of non-traditional parents, i.e. grandparents and great-grandparents who are taking care of children today. And so during the pandemic, it was like, hey, wait, we could have done better in terms of, in my opinion, this is Beyonce's opinion, engaging in the community and trying to work with those families. And so part of me running was like, what can I do to take the level of sort of experience, but then also just my intellect around, and I think a part of me, my innovation around what could we be doing different. So what did we do different? For one, when I ran 4 years ago, got on the school board, we actually had 12 failing schools 4 years ago. Over the past
y'all had 4 failing schools.
12.
12.
We had 12 failing schools. And now Birmingham City Schools only has 4 failing schools, and we are working very diligently.
Okay.
That's a miracle. That is something good. That, is not talked about, but it is certainly, and I mean, I say it's a miracle because you're talking about having failing schools for honestly decades. And so being able to move forward to identify what can we do to get down to the science of removing our schools off the failing schools list. And a lot of that had a lot to do with attendance. It has a lot to do with leadership stability. And so it is really important to be able to get principals in the school that is going to be there and stay there and work with our students to be able to move the needle forward. A second thing that, was important to us is when we got on this board 4 years ago, Birmingham City Schools was operating without a strategic plan. And so, if you are a leader, if you are in any leadership role, if you're a business owner, you know that at some point you need to sit down and create a strategy on where we are, taking a hard look at yourself, doing what we call a SWOT analysis to look at our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and then where do we want to go? And so this board was able to work alongside the superintendent to say, let us establish a strategic plan that will put us on a pathway so that not only we as a district and families that we serve, the employees that work in the district, but the community and our partners know exactly where we're going. And so that's what this board was able to do. We were able to partner with Harvard University, who came in as consultants with us, along with hearing from our constituents in the community. Harvard University.
Wow.
And so we're.
How did that came about? I mean, Harvard. I'm talking about a Ivy School.
Yeah.
In where is it? In where Harvard located?
It's in.
No, I'm gonna call it in a minute.
Okay.
Boston,
Connecticut, Boston, somewhere. Boston. That's it. Boston. So Quadras is kept, and it doesn't have to be quiet, but Quadras is kept. Like Birmingham City Schools has been working for the past 5 or 6 years going to this leadership conference. Now I can tell you that the acronym is PELP. Okay. I can't tell you what PELP stands for because I don't know it all, right?
Yeah, no.
But for years, the superintendent and members from his cabinet and selectively principals from one of our schools across the district, a board member, and then a couple of other individuals that the superintendent has identified goes to Harvard each year and start to look at specifically what are some of the challenges in the district. Is it our elementary? Is it our middle school schools? And then how do we build and develop, sort of a problem, a purpose, right? What is the challenge that we're experiencing?
Right.
How do we try to resolve this problem? And so as a result of that, Harvard and of course Dr. Sullivan determined that this would be a great group to partner with as consultants for us to come in and help us build out and map out a strategic plan. And so that is what we're really excited about because you can actually go to Birmingham City School. Another piece to
let me give y'all a clap though. I mean, that's awesome, man. I mean, that's good. That's some good stuff.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think thank you, Mike. I appreciate that, and I think a lot of us being on the right track now is because of this board was able to work together collectively to say we've got to. This board was asking. We were really determined to increase accountability, and so what I mean by that is like not trying to micromanage anything that's happening in the district, but holding ourselves accountable to every single dollar that we spend. When someone comes in or when the superintendent comes in and presents a partner who is asking for X amount of dollars in funding, this board began to master what does the data say? if you are a returning partner, what was the impact? What is the return on the investment? How did it impact the students?
Yeah.
Is this something that we need to be reinvesting in, or is this something we need to revisit? Is this something that we should be taking across the entire district?
Right.
Or is this something that we should be working in certain
communities? So y'all got some real good checks and balances in place.
We did. Yeah. And that wasn't in place, from a collective standpoint.
Okay.
I am, and this is a Neonce's opinion. I do not think that was in place, right? Because I don't want to say that, there wasn't, the board prior to us wasn't doing some of those things, but I can tell you that this board began to collectively work together on that. And as a result, we're able to see what happened. We saw our second and third graders reading and math scores increase. And so
that's going to be one of my questions. Go ahead, though.
Well, let me just not, I don't want to steal from you, going into those questions, but I think just kind of going back to your, trying to answer your second question, it was really important for us to be able to build out a strategy and something that can be, transparent. That was the other thing. Like, we need to be transparent with the public. We have partners and we have vendors, but nothing is done in isolation. We can't minimize the role that the our mayor has played, but also the city council. I know a lot of us tend to shout out the mayor, but honestly, the mayor can't move a lot of things forward without the support of the council. Yeah. And so we think about what the council has done to approve. Annually they've given $1 million. Sometimes just non-discretionary funds, and then sometimes it has, the last several years, has been specifically for certain categories, whether that is to support mental health support services for our students, to increase the counselors that we have in the building. Yeah, absolutely. Or if it has been, investing $1 million in one category, but then also supporting other initiatives. Like right before, maybe 3 months ago, the mayor came before the school board and asked for our permission to spend money with the district. He was able to invest $3 million into all 43 of our schools that actually have a campus, to ensure that there is a outdoor basketball court that is secure on each of the campuses. So for some of the schools that do not have courts, they're going to have courts established, and then for those who have courts but they are not up to par, basketball courts.
Well, you mind me asking, what would be the purpose of the courts?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. Mike, when you start to think about mental health, and a lot of times it's not just like what you can do and this is Neonce's opinion about why, but when you think about not just from a receiving therapy standpoint, but physical activity, the ability to get outside, to breathe, to interact, to run, to play with your teammate. It's healthy interaction that will cause students to be able to free themselves with energy, and then also go back into the classroom and have something that they're prideful of. Yeah. So on each of those courts, the students are going to be able to, most people might look at it as like it's graffiti, but it's not. The students are going to be able to kind of look at what kind of designs they want on the court, what do they want it to look like. So you're talking about investment in the community, something kids can be proud of. And they have their investment too. It's like what they want to look like. Exactly. Yeah. So, I think that is part of the purpose. I think the other purpose too is that we got to be honest about the fact that Mayor Whiffen is really, really invested in education. Like, he is the mayor of the city of Birmingham in governance and moving the city forward. But his entire term of service, he's made it very clear that, education is important to him. And so not only does he invest the dollars, he and the council invest the dollars, but he's present. We have ribbon cuttings. We have, we have events. If you follow his social, look at his page, it's like, man, he's in the schools, not even just the first day of school. Like, a lot of people show up first day of school. Sometimes it's he's 100% supportive of the district. He is. He is a product of the district, and he's invested. And so, what did he went to school? So I don't know where he went to elementary school, but I can tell you that his middle school was Putnam Middle School, which is actually in District 2. Okay. And so he has gone back to the school, and it's so incredibly impactful for those students. I have to slow down because I get excited. Well, I know I talk fast, but for those students, keep it up, man. Like, just keep going. The mayor of Birmingham walked these halls. The mayor of Birmingham was in these classrooms. Yeah. Like, do you understand what that means to those students who are coming from some of our communities that people tend to think that, what good can come out of here, right? But it's a lot of great good that can come out of neighborhoods all across the city of Birmingham. Absolutely. So, I love it when he shows up. I love it when, he tells stories about, being there. So he's very relatable to those kids as well. That's awesome. It's funny we mentioned him because I reached out to him and his team, and we right now trying to get him on. We got to get him on. You got to get him on. Yeah. I have to say, come on, Mayor, you got to get on Real Talk. Yeah, exactly. So, hey, Rick, hey, man, that's my guy, Rick Journey, man. Hey. Oh, okay. Rick is a great journalist too.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
That was a steal getting him with the city of Birmingham.
Yeah, and I offered him to be on too. He was like, hold on, let's try to get the man on first.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, that would be great.
But yeah, man, that's awesome, man. What make you the better candidate for this job? You know. You want
to hear all the things that make me better?
Well, I'm just popping your collar.
Well, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to pop my collar.
I mean, I'm not holding back. I'm like, what?
Let's go.
Neonta, what makes you the better candidate?
Yeah, well, listen, this is what makes Neonta the better candidate. Number one, Neonta truly does understand and value the power of education.
Definitely.
As a first-generation college graduate.
Woo, woo. Hey.
Another hand clap. Yep.
Yeah, another hand clap. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, first generation.
First generation.
You mentioned that last time on the show, too, and that was a big deal.
It's important to know because
it's a big deal.
Man, people look at you and they think that, oh man, you got it together, or they see you in certain places and think that, you've always had it like this. Absolutely not, man. I'm not saying I got it out the mud because that wasn't the case. I was just determined.
Well, man, you were determined and you still are determined. And that was your word for today is determined.
Yep.
But here's the thing, and I'm not trying to steal your thunder, but it's so many of us are first-time college graduates.
Yes, yeah.
And that just says a lot about it just says a lot about some of the families, man. Yeah. Some of our families and how we were constructed or how we are constructed and where we are now and what they expect from people like you and I.
Yeah. That is so true. There was a bar. There was a bar that was set. I can tell you, I said one day I was gonna, I'm gonna write a book for sure.
Man, come on, hold on.
Definitely, now. Yeah,
it was. There you go.
I am going
because you have to.
Yeah,
and I think I need to too.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I definitely think you need to write a book as well. But I'm definitely gonna write a book. But if I and I don't think I've ever said this. I probably have never said it out loud or said.
Well, you sound like the president because she said, "Mike, I don't think I ever said this on, but I'm gonna say it on your show." Go ahead.
Yeah. So
y'all see this? I get people. Go ahead.
So like understanding what a first generation college graduate means to me.
Yeah.
I grew up I'm not that old, right? But I'm just one generation removed from slavery. My grandparents, were just right at the cusp of slavery ending. And for them to be able to support me, to be able to go to college, I remember growing up, my grandmother, part of her job was cleaning a dentist's office.
Yeah.
And it was a privilege to be able to go with her to clean the dentist's office. But not only did she clean the dentist's office, she also cleaned the homes of that dentist and his parents and their siblings.
Wow.
And so, and I mean, this is in the 80s where I am, which feels like yesterday. But I was going and with my granny to clean their homes. So I'm dusting and I'm folding clothes. And of course, we weren't in the African American homes, right? So, just being fully transparent. But I'm able to be around through that. Well, my granny probably didn't. Maybe she realized I didn't realize that she was putting me in proximity to what greatness could look like. But I also watched how my granny worked really hard to clean someone else's home, to help raise someone else's children.
Absolutely.
And so now here it is.
Wow.
She was able to, get me, and not her alone, but just my entire family, but understand the value of an education. I remember being at school at Miles, coming home on the weekends and Miles College. And if you remember those big glass milk jugs that the milkman was.
Oh man, a lot of people don't remember them, but I remember those.
My granny she had those and they were full of change, full of coins. And so I remember after Sunday dinners when my brother was getting ready to bring me back to school here to Birmingham, sitting in the middle of my granny's living room floor, and she would give each of us myself and two of my female cousins, girl cousins, the $10 quarter rolls.
Oh yeah, the quarters in the rolls. Yeah.
And we would have to sit there and roll up.
I think it was they were gold rolls.
It was. It had a little orange, orange, maybe
like a burnt orange.
Burnt orange.
That's it.
She would give those to us to sit there and we could count out $30. So she would send me back to Miles College with $30 of quarters that we would roll up, and sometimes I used it in the dorm to wash my clothes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I use it for whatever, to eat or whatever the case may be. So when you're talking about people taking what they have, and I know today there are a lot of parents and grandparents that are doing the same thing. Again, we're talking about a runoff. I've been out here for the last 3 weeks, knocking on doors, making phone calls. I encountered just this week Miss Haslam. And by the grace of God, when I am reelected and we have our swearing in ceremony, Miss Haslam is 85 years old. She lives in District 2. And she came to her door with so much energy. Like, you couldn't tell me she was 60 years old.
Oh my God.
And
she was into it.
She went in the house and she got her frame. She still had her receipt for paying $3 to vote in 1964.
Come on now.
And she, just when you're talking about having these conversations with someone who their entire, their early years, their former years of their life, they were on the battlefield for us to be, for this girl to be able to be on the ballot. In 2025.
Yes.
And so I would never take this kind of work lightly. So when you talk about what qualifies me,
and what makes you the better candidate?
What makes me the better candidate, man? Like, it's because, like, I know who I'm representing. Like, I'm representing not only children who are in school today, but I'm representing Miss Haslam.
Yeah.
And so, just a side note, when I am sworn in, when you see Miss Haslam on stage with me, because I asked her if she would come and take the stage with me, I'm already lining up because I believe victory's on the other side. I've asked my nieces and nephews, like, I want you all to hold the Bible. Miss Haslam, I want you present because it's because of you that my name could even be on the ballot. And so, just what makes me the better candidate. Like, so I serve the community in that way. I've also served my country as a United States Army veteran. I raised my hand and I swore to protect and serve in foreign and domestic situations. Yeah. And let me tell you, once you swear in to serve this country, it's not, even though your time of service may be up, your contract may be up, or you may retire, that never leaves your heart of serving this country.
Hey, man, how could it, man? And, man, big ups to you, man, because I've known you for a while. And I remember when you went into the military. Yeah, man, I was like, let me just say this. And I mean, you are more brave than I am.
More brave than I thought I was.
Yeah, to take that leap, man, because I wasn't brave enough to take that leap. Yeah. And sometimes I wish I was. But, man, big ups to you.
Thank you.
For serving this country, going into the military. After you graduated from Miles College, you went into the military. Yeah. And I was like, whoa, Neonta in the military. Yeah. Big ups, man.
Yeah, it's, thank you. I do appreciate that. And along with myself and everybody else who has raised their hand to swear, who is sworn in to serve and protect this country.
Absolutely.
Because, Mike, freedom ain't free, it's like, it's just not. And so, so that's another part of my qualifications. And in my life, I have been blessed to do a bunch of cool things, like really, really cool things. Like, even the fact that now, like, one of the things I do that's fun to me is I referee women's college basketball.
Hey, you know what? I was going to mention that in the bio, but I don't think people know, like that about you. Well, some people know. But a lot of people that may be listening from Real Talk with Mike Steele that may want to hear a little bit about Neonta. Because I don't think we talked that much about it last time.
I don't think we did either. I don't think we talked a whole lot about it.
But you are a referee. Just a quick piece of that, please.
Come on, Ms. Rev, blow the whistle.
Blow the whistle.
That's why our season's getting ready to start. Man, it is one of the coolest things to do because I started officiating because I was really concerned about, like, who we're going to be having good quality officials that can be the integrity in the game.
Yes.
When I played ball, I felt like we didn't have the best of best referees. And so I always wanted to be a good official who called by the rules, but who also understood the balance of dealing with a student athlete.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you can be a shooter, you can have a bad night, like the ball won't go in the hole, and then you become a stink person on the court. Somebody got to pull you to the side and be like, "What you doing? What's up? Come on now, you got to get in the game."
You do that sometimes,
all the time. I can't say what I really say. I may catch a player that's just like I described, having an off night. I'll pull them to the side. Somebody else may be shooting a free throw. I'm like, "Hey, 10, come here. Let me holler at you for a minute." Like, they looking at me with an attitude. "What, Miss Ralph?" I'm like, "Look, they told me you could shoot, man. I ain't seen nothing tonight. What's up?" They look at me like, "Really, Ralph?" Okay, so they may go down the court, shoot a layup or something, get a jump shot, come back down the court looking at me like, I told you. I'm like, okay, let's see what you got. I'm already knowing that the whole purpose is like, come on, getting together. Everybody have ups and downs.
Yeah, play a good game. Just play a competitive game. That's what
play
you
ball. Yeah. Just play ball. But that whole
that's awesome.
It is. Thank you. Awesome. I appreciate that. But that whole connecting to officiating is really what deepened my concern about K-12 education. Because when I first started officiating, I was seeing these great athletes in high school. And when I first got on the collegiate level, I was doing Division III, Division II, and JUCO and NAIA, where the academic requirements are not the same for Division I.
Yes.
But I kept seeing them at the Y. I was seeing them in Homewood playing ball. I see them at the Rec. I see them in church leagues. Like, what up? What's up, Miss Ref? I'm like, where you going to school? Oh, Miss Ref, I couldn't make that ACT score that I needed. And so when I started to take a deeper dive into what was happening on the data end, that's where I learned, like, wait a minute. This was the one thing that afforded me the opportunity to get to college, to get to that bridge that can get me over.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that these athletes are not, this isn't happening for them today.
Yeah.
And so that's where I wanted to sort of get into like this K-12 advocacy space to say, wait a minute, what's going on? And that was like 15, almost 20 years ago.
And from that kind of opened your eyes.
And it opened it up to everything because and again, tonight I'm here to pop my stuff. So, because I want people to know what qualifies me for this position.
Yeah.
But also, not only what qualifies me, but like, what is the real, like my real passion behind this. And so, there was a period of time for about between the 3 to 6 year window where I actually worked with an organization that had me going into the prisons, working with the incarcerated population. And at one point, for about 3.5 years, I worked as a substance and alcohol abuse counselor with the Alabama State Department of Corrections. And so when you see young people, in a prison, in a cell, or in a situation where they are trapped by their physical being, they're trapped by their mind, they're trapped by all these different things, is like, wait a minute, what is going on? And so what I learned is that, and what I've continued to understand is that if we can just get our people educated with information, not just K-12 information, but just information to help us get to the other side of something that can help you make a different decision, then you'll be in a better position to be the best that God has called him and ordained people to be. And so, it's like all of those experiences for me is like, I have to be in this advocacy role. Whether I'm at the table serving as a school board member or not, I'm grateful. Very much grateful to serve. And of course I want to continue to serve, but the reality is that, you got to do this without a title. It doesn't, I just happen to have a title, but at the end of the day, I'm Neonta. I'm still Nene from Miles College that came, no dress shoes. All I had was tennis shoes, and Miles is a private institution. So, we had chapel, which meant we went to church.
Oh, boy.
And I remember before my mom left, she had to go and buy me some dress shoes because I didn't have any. And then, of course, when I graduated, I had one pair of tennis shoes and a whole bunch of dress shoes. So that's exactly what the college experience should have been. And I'm grateful that I had that. It grew me, it matured me. It gave me the courage. It gave me stamina in my back.
Yeah.
It put a battery in my back to get out here and do what I needed to do for the community. So
absolutely. Now, when we talk about the grand scheme, no, Deontay, girl, give it, pop your collar.
It's a lot, man.
Come on.
Much. It's so much.
No. And this is why we're here, though.
Yeah.
This is exactly why we're here. We got August the 26th. October the 7th.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
October the 7th. We have a runoff election, guys. Birmingham, listen to me. October the 7th. We have a runoff election. You got to get out to the polls and vote, man. That is your responsibility to get out there and vote for the best person for the job. And Neonta right now believes that
I am.
She is.
I am.
And I believe she is too.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I am though.
I definitely, I don't believe I know she is.
Yeah. I am.
Yeah. So get out and vote, man. Do your thing, man. Make sure you get out there and vote. Next to the next question, because this is like something that I want to know, because I'm a transplant, guys. I'm from Florida, freshly back 6 years, 5 years, and I'm getting my feet wet. That's all I can tell you. I'm in here. I'm getting my feet wet, and I'm loving what I'm hearing from a lot of different people. Some of my friends, a lot of my friends are in key places, though. Mm-hmm. Let me just say that. A lot of my friends are in key places in the Birmingham area.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you look at the Birmingham City School District, what are some needs? If you had to break it down, the top 3 needs, what do you consider the top 3 needs for the Birmingham City?
Needs.
Yeah. And if you don't have 3, you don't have 3. But what are some needs that the district has?
We need more teachers.
Okay.
We need more certified teachers.
Okay.
We also need we need more bus drivers. Believe it or not, we need more bus drivers, and we need more intentional parental engagement and involvement.
Parental.
Yeah, we need more of that.
Yeah,
we definitely need more of that. So let me talk about, if I can,
you can.
Of the 3, more teachers, more certified teachers. So certified doesn't always mean qualified, right? Because
I got you.
Yeah, I understand. I do understand that, but there's a high level of success that is associated with our teachers that are certified, because
I'm glad you said that too.
Yeah, because there is a certain pedagogy, a certain way that teachers have been trained to teach students to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So you think about our kids, kindergarten through 2nd grade, you're learning to read. 3rd grade, for the rest of our lives, we're reading to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And it is in 3rd grade when those standardized exams begin to assess what you've actually learned. Mm-hmm. And so if our students haven't learned how to read, then you definitely cannot assess what they've learned.
Mm-hmm.
So
if they can't read, you cannot obsess.
Yeah.
I mean, assess. I'm sorry, not obsess.
Yeah.
Assess.
Yeah, what they
which
really
means,
learn.
Yeah.
You can't evaluate.
That's
we
what
can't. When we start to take the standardized exams, you can. Let's be clear. You can assess them, but what you're going to find out is that they haven't.
Exactly.
And what I mean by learned is, I mean the comprehension piece too.
I know what you mean. Yeah, but I'm glad you. Yeah, exactly.
You mean that comprehension piece. And what I know for sure is that children are inherently intelligent and talented.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be placed in the right environment when their intelligence is fostered. So the right environment is in front of our certified teachers. Mm. And so one of the things that Birmingham City Schools has done, and this particular board has supported it from a financial standpoint, because I want to remind the folks that the part of the effectiveness of a board and the role of a board is making sure that we appropriate funding and resources for the programs and staff that we have in place. So the board members don't get to go into a building, teach a class. We don't get to do any of those things that may be associated with those particular outcomes. It's actually financially positioning those people who have been hired to do that to be successful. And so I'm saying that because that's important when we talk about, well, what has this board done to be able to support those teachers to be impactful? Well, this board has given incentives. And so I pick up my phone because I want to make sure, when you come, you got to come with receipts, right?
Yes,
about what you have done. And my little graphic is trying to rotate around for me. But one of the things that we've done is this board just approved, and this isn't the first time we've done it. We've done it each year that we've been on the board. But we actually have approved like a one-time, because money greases the wheel. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But we've invested $3.3 million into a prospective pay for all of our full-time employees. So what that means is that every single employee in Birmingham City Schools get an additional $1,000 one-time prospective pay. And we try to give that resource to those.
I need that money. No, go ahead.
You need to come be an educator. We need some teachers in Birmingham City Schools. We have some positions that are open.
Go ahead.
But, and you know what? It's really helpful to our staff because we are able to give them those resources right around the holidays where they can invest back into their families. And if it's a vacation or whatever that they would like to do, we are able to do that. The other thing that this board just recently approved for our staff going forward is that we are, prior to this approval, I won't say prior to, I'll just say we just awarded 2 new leave days. So for instance, now our staff is getting 1 personal day for leave if they need it. And these 2 leave days are not based upon their time of service. It's just based upon the fact that they are employees for Birmingham City Schools. So what does that mean? Why would you need that? people need mental health days.
Yes, they do.
Even as adults in the building, sometimes you
need a day to just get away.
You need a day to get away.
Yes, you do.
And then the second day is that we've allotted is for a day of bereavement. So you have family members who may transition, and some employees may not even have bereavement days available to them. So this is a day that we are awarding them. And so we're proud of that, because in as much as we're investing in the mental health of students, we're also trying our best to invest in the mental health of staff as well. So again, trying to bring some receipts. So we talk about what else have we done for our educators, and particularly with our special education students, special education department, excuse me, not students.
Yeah.
Because there is a shortage of our SPED students, we are really good at trying to incentivize people to come and work with us. This wants to just keep rotating on me. But we are awarding a stipend of $3,500. So the state gives $1,200 to SPED students, but not students. I'm sorry. I keep saying students. I mean to our SPED educators. But Birmingham City Schools is adding an additional $3,500 on top of that. On top of that, as a stipend for our SPED teachers. Because again, it is important. We have a number of students that are in our special education department, and our staff needs to be, incentivized even more to be able to support those students and their needs that they may have. So I can stop there, and then I want to share one more thing that I think is really important that I've also been a part of that many people may not know. And so this last legislative session, the Alabama State Legislature passed a act that is called the RAISE Act. And it is.
What is that?
And I'm going to tell you all about it. I can't talk about it. I can't tell you all about it. I need to talk about it to tell you all about it. I got your mic. I got your listening audience.
Come on, let's hear it.
So there's a coalition. It's called the Every Child Alabama Coalition that is led by A+ Education, which is a advocacy organization that works at the state level to strengthen policies around K-12 education in the state of Alabama. And so they formed together a coalition of organizations and parents and individuals, business owners, who were willing to come together to go to the state legislature and advocate for additional funding based upon the needs of the students. So I want to make sure that you and others are following me say this. Please. So the way K-12 education today is funded, it was up until this year, it was based upon attendance. It is called ADM, average, and I think I spoke about this a little bit last time, but average daily membership. So there is a window, and we're actually in this window now, where there's a 20-day head count of how many students are in school. And the state funds school districts based upon the number of students that are enrolled in school within this window. It's a 20-day window.
20-day window.
And the state also funds schools a year in arrearage. So this 25-26 school year that we are operating in, we're actually operating from the attendance of 24-25.
Okay.
And so next year, the funding that the school districts receive across the state are going to be operating from this year's attendance. What that does is fund schools based upon the individual students. So there's X amount of dollars per X amount of students that are in the school.
During that time frame.
During that window that the count is taking place.
Yeah.
Up until this year, there was no other factors that were weighed in to give additional funding. And so what this Every Child Alabama Coalition did was advocated for additional funding to be given to the schools based upon the needs of the students. So those needs weigh from poverty, from social emotional learning, that people may have, from the gifted, so students who are gifted. And so there is a percentage weight that is given additional to each student based upon those categories. And so my organization and myself was a part of that advocacy work that went to the state capitol to make sure that when
you say your organization, are you talking about Black Alabamans for Education?
I am talking about Black Alabamans for Education, because again, it talks about my resume of like, I'm not just a school board member that goes to the school board meeting every 2 weeks, that show up, that govern and go home.
Yeah.
So it is something that this is a part of my day-to-day work.
Yes. I needed that to be clear though.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for posing that question and asking that. So yes. So what the state legislature decided to do was give additional funding based upon the varying weights for every single need that the child has. So, for instance,
I'm glad you said for instance. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
So for instance, if a child is coming from a household that is poverty, like low income,
yes,
and majority of our students that we serve in Birmingham City Schools come from low income working class.
Absolutely.
And so there is a percentage rate. I want to say it's 2% per student increase that the district received as a result of those children. And so to fast forward all of that, this year alone with the RAISE Act giving additional funding to, and it's not just Birmingham City Schools, it's all schools across the district. The goal is that it becomes fully funded, but the legislature decided to do a hybrid model where they're doing a little bit at a time.
Okay.
Well, this little bit at a time got Birmingham City Schools an additional $5.8 million.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow.
So this and so go ahead.
No, that's a lot. That's a lot.
It is a lot. And I was going to say with this $5.8 million, what we then are able to do is take this money and actually allocate it in the areas where our students have the needs based upon where the funding came from. So now that takes me back to our, because I want to, again.
So I see how you connecting these dots, but go ahead.
I'm trying to connect the dots.
Yeah.
So what this was able to do is we were able to take $157,000.
Okay.
And award stipends to our special education teachers. The money that I talked about, we were going to increase. So we're able to put stipends in there for those teachers that are going to be in the SPED department because we're serving a population of students that are SPED. So now, Mike, we can go out and get more qualified, more certified individuals to work. And with even your background in mental health, how important it is to have certified individuals in front of our students.
Certified, yes.
Where we were.
Nothing against uncertified, but we're talking about
it, but it matters.
Certified, but it does matter.
And where we were having to outsource those services, we are now able to do them within the district.
In-house. That's awesome.
That's a game changer.
That is a game changer.
Being able to take care of the people you have. And then also what we're able to do out of this funding is we're able to award $6,000 for speech pathologists. We have 6 speech pathologists that work in the district. So we're talking about $1,000 per speech pathologist. So, and I don't want to make it sound like, BCS is just giving money away. No, that is not the case. What we're trying to do is take care of our people.
And put incentives in place.
Yes, incentives in place to make sure that people know that they're valued, but then also to retain and to be able to build out a plan that is going to work for the long term for our families that we serve, not just in the short term, but for the long term of the people that we're taking care of. So, I think it's important to be able to share some of those things that. I
appreciate that. Yeah, and I think you need to share some of those things, though. Honestly, you need to share some things, man.
Yeah, we do. For the sake of, and again, because I hope people hear my heart. They're like, yes, I absolutely want to serve. Like, yes, you all should go to the polls October the 7th and re-elect me. I need the same 642 plus however many thousands that are willing to come out on that day to give me an opportunity to continue to serve in this role. But at the same time, I think it's important that we own that there are a lot of positive things happening. As I said before, we got on board. There were 12 failing schools. We're now down to 4 failing schools.
That's amazing. To me, that's amazing alone.
It is.
Yeah, the work that you guys are doing, man. So when you speak about being a team player, do you consider yourself a team player?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I do.
And and if you are a team player, can you give me an example of how you work together as a team?
Yeah, sure.
I think you have game, but I'm just giving you that.
Well, I can talk about specifically in this role. Like this, being a board member it's not easy.
Yes,
you have to make difficult decisions. You make unpopular decisions, and as much as I'm a team player, I'm also not a person I'm not a yes person.
Yeah,
like I'm not going to say yes to everything. I am going to ask questions. If you attend a board meeting, you watch virtually, like Neon's just asking another question. Yes, I'm asking questions because I want to know that whatever we're doing, however we're investing, that it comes back to the bottom line of that the students are being positively impacted by what we are doing. So when we talk about, some examples of being a team player.
Before you answer that question, though, when you ask these questions, the questions come to mind. Do you think of, do you put yourself in I want to say put yourself in a position, but do you think about your parents and what they may be thinking when questions come across. And sometimes these questions or these these questions can be like real big questions, so to speak. Do you simplify these things and simplify them so maybe as if you talking to me as a baby or a 7-year-old? You know what I'm trying to say? Because in these meetings, man, some of these meetings, not saying that these parents don't understand, and I'm not trying to talk about somebody's intelligence level, but in politics, man, it could be these big old grandiose questions, man, and sometimes they can throw a parent off. People that's listening, do you simplify these questions and make sure these parents understand these questions?
I do. I definitely do. And that's probably why I talk so much. And also, why I do ask those questions, because I believe that you have to try to, we have to give this like it's sheep food. Like you gotta put it so low to the ground that people can pick it up, that they can chew on it and they can understand exactly, what it is. And so that's why for me it's important to stay connected to the community. Because you don't want to get so high in your governance role that you forget the people that you're governing for and some of the decisions that we make that have an impact on them. And so, yes, I do. I want to hear the opinions of the community and our parents, because when we are making decisions, I think probably one of the largest things that's a contention for us is the school calendar. When it comes time to build out that school calendar, we do our best to try to get, parents, the community, our educators to give feedback on when school should start, when it should not start. I hear positive things, I hear negative things like, oh, you all are in school too long, or, this doesn't make sense or that doesn't make sense. And so sometimes our parents' opinions have helped us persuaded us to, or encouraged us or guided us in some of the policies that we put in place and some of the things that we do to try to help those families. But hopefully parents know that, their children and their interest is the best, the best that is always at the heart of what we do.
Have you ever listened to the radio show host Joe Madison?
From time to time, it's been a long time since I listened to Joe Madison.
Yeah, he passed away a couple
not too long ago.
Yeah, prostate cancer, man. And when you was speaking, you got to keep it low. He always used to say a term, put it where the ghost can get it.
Yeah, he sure does. He sure did, rather. He sure did say that all the time.
Yeah, put it where the ghost can get it. I mean, make sure it's simple, make sure it's understandable. Yeah. And that was his way of saying that. Make sure it's, people understand it. And it got to be these big old fancy words and extravagant words, but put it where the ghost can get it. Simplify, make sure that people understand as much as you can. And I think one of your roles in many other representatives for, the district, simplifying these things for the parents and make sure the parents understand. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's
important. The last thing you want to do is have people that you represent feel like you're not representing them or that their voices are not being heard. And so, again, you do want things to make sense. And a lot of times, Mike, it's not the fancy words, but it is explaining to parents why we do certain things that we do. For instance, like we have intercession. And so intercession is an opportunity. In fact, it's actually been supported by the state. And a state representative, Garrett, who is actually from the Trussville area, is also given some of his funding to support the intercession that Birmingham City Schools is doing. But it's a model that is done whereby during the times that typically, the kids are out of school for fall break or some kind of break, during this period, we have 3 of them, and it's a week window period, and it's designed to really have those students who may be falling behind academically or need a little bit more support to actually come to school to get those kinds of supports. We've also started to model where we're using our intercessions for our partners to come in. Some people who, some programs and some entities who may have some extracurricular activities that they do. I think about like Valton Johnson. He has a film camp that he does. Where he brings in some of the actors and actresses who work with Tyler Perry.
That's awesome.
It is. It's really awesome. And I hate to just call him out because there are a lot of other partners that we have.
Yeah, but that's significant, though.
But as an example of, during that intercession period, people are able to come in. And so a lot of times people don't understand, well, I thought intercession was for not for certain groups of people. And the reality is it's for all of the students.
Absolutely.
And so, we think about that, like parents don't understand, what is ACAP? What's up with all this ACAP testing? What's iReady? What is all these things? And so these are systems that, we have in place to be able to help our students be able to read and grow and stay on grade level or exceed the grade level that they're on. We have talk like level 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's like, well, what does all of that mean? And so,
That's
really,
funny
to
that you
your
mentioned
point.
that, though. No, you mentioned that because like earlier you was talking about reading scores and all. You was getting ready to kind of touch on that.
Mhm.
But a question that I have on that is, what is your plan or the district plan, and more importantly, your plan to improve reading scores in early literacy
Yeah.
and expansion
Yeah. So,
if reelected,
Thank you. Good question.
Yeah.
So my plan is to continue to enforce the plan that we have in place through our strategic plan. What we were able to do over the last not just 2 years, but 3 years, because back in, oh my gosh, it's gonna make me quote a year. I think it was 2019. The Alabama Literacy Act was written and passed. And this was the bill that essentially says students that are, by the time a student is in the third grade, they must be before they are promoted to the fourth grade, they must be on the third grade level in reading. And if they're not, then those students have to be retained.
Oh.
And so there was so then the pandemic happened. The bill
Yes.
passed in 19, the pandemic happened. And so there was a delay in the implementation of this bill. It was pushed back for about 5 years before it was officially implemented.
Mm-hmm.
So in that 6th year, it was implemented. And so we had a number of students that were potentially up to be held back and retained. And so I just have to shout out the city of Birmingham, because Birmingham came together. The mayor's office came together. City council came together. Division of Youth Services came together. Birmingham City Schools. We partnered with the likes of United Way, who hired college students to come in and tutor our students on a day-to-day basis.
United Way did that.
United Way, and also again Birmingham City Schools. There were financial incentives behind it.
Yeah.
And then there were businesses in the community that opened up their doors to let people come in and read. And all we were trying to do was increase with a reading initiative. Just read to students for 15 minutes a day, or have those students read to you 15 minutes a day. And then the next year we went a lot deeper and went into, we've got to have tier 2 volunteers, which means they understand the pedagogy of reading. So we really went after like our retired educators, or people who were willing to become not necessarily certified teachers, but certified in understanding, how to teach children how to properly enunciate a word.
Okay.
And how to, the phonics of reading.
Basically. Yeah. Yes.
And so went a lot deeper. And what we were able to see is that Birmingham City Schools ended up getting nationally recognized as one of the top districts in the country for the amount of growth we had post-pandemic. Now, our scores are not where we need to be. Like, I know I'm talking about all the great things we've done, and it is.
But still room for improvement.
But there's definitely room for
improvement.
And so I want to be clear about that. So my goal is that we have some learning gaps in our middle school students.
Okay.
So my goal and my voice at this table has been, and will continue to be, the same practices that we put in place for our elementary school students to be able to close those gaps and grow them. We need to do the same things with our middle school students. No need to, try to do anything differently. If we have a plan and it's working, we need to work the plan.
That's funny that you mentioned it, because that goes directly to this next question.
Next question. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can I drink a Mountain Dew?
Yeah, girl, drink some of your Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Because boy, hey man, we talking to Neonta Williams, Birmingham City School Board member rep right now, currently the incumbent, has a runoff election October the 7th, 2025. You guys get out and vote, man. It's a runoff election. If you want someone of her pedigree to continue in representing the Birmingham City Schools District, School Board District 2, y'all need to get out and vote, man, because it's very important to have someone that really understands the kids, understand the mission, and someone that connects well, someone that's already in the seat, if you will. Get out and vote, man, because if you're looking for someone of her pedigree, get on out and vote. That's all I can say, man.
That's good.
Yeah, and to piggyback or to transition to that question, man, because you're right. It's funny that I written this question in this order, because it just tied, what you were speaking about ties right into the next question. How do you plan to ensure that all school districts I mean, all schools in District 2. I'm not talking about the rest, but I like to see abroad all the districts. I mean, come together. But
Yeah, sure.
how do you ensure that all the schools in District 2 are receiving equal or the same resources?
Yeah.
Which means services may consist of after-school programs, equipment, medical treatment, mental health. So I mean, whatever there is, how can you ensure that one school versus another school are getting the same thing, or can you do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And you know what? The success to your question is the B part when you said, "Can you do that?" So here's how I feel about. First of all, equity is important.
Yeah.
Meaning that every school has access to the resources that they need. It doesn't mean for me in District 2, just my way of thinking, that they get the exact same thing.
Okay.
Because every single school does not need the exact same thing. So we have
Absolutely.
3 schools in District 2, WJ Christian, I see where Mitchell Middle School, which is in Eastlake, and then you have Putnam Middle School, which is in the Crestwood South area. And so all those come from different areas. So our WJ Christian is kindergarten through 8th grade. So our kindergarten through 5th grade students are neighborhood children.
Okay.
They come from a neighborhood. The middle school portion of WJ Christian is 6th through 8th grade, and it is actually a specialty school, which means students had to test. It is a magnet school. So they had to test to actually get into that school. So some of the needs that our middle school students at WJ Christian have will not be the same needs that our students at Putnam Middle School will need, or that I see where Mitchell will need. So what I do is try to advocate to make sure that whatever those needs are of each of those principals and those families that they're serving, that their voices are heard from the board level. We're really blessed to have incredible leaders in those schools. They've been there, they're stable, they've been there, they have a vision, they've moved the school forward. But that doesn't change like what the advocacy looks like and what the equitable portion of what they look like. So, for example, 4 years ago, got elected, went and sat down and met with each of the principals and said, you know, what would you like to do? What is your goal? Where do you see us going in the next year, the next 3-4 years? Mr. Lumsey, a phenomenal principal over at WJ Christian, said, shout out to Alabama State. He's an Alabama State alum. A member of Omega Psi Phi. Let's go.
Blue Phi. Go ahead.
So what he said was, I want my school to be STEM certified nationally, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. Yeah. He was able to accomplish that. Was able to advocate for them, make sure that the supports were in place to ensure. And of course, again, my role is the advocacy piece. I don't get to get in there and do anything in particular. I'm not teaching class, not doing any of that. But it is to support the interests of that particular principal and his leaders. And so that happened. And I see where Miss Riley, Wanda Riley, I call her Dr. Riley because to me, all of them operate as a doctor. But, Miss Riley has been really incredible for I see where she actually was the middle school. She was the assistant principal at Woodlawn High School. And then our principal was Dr. Ramika Davis. And so there was a flip. So Dr. Davis became the principal at Woodlawn and Miss Riley became the principal at I See Where. And what was great about her presence is that she already knew the families that we were going to be serving because Woodlawn High School is the feeder pattern for the middle school of I See Middle. And so I see where Mitchell Middle. But, you know, what she's been able to do is establish a culture of excellence in that building. I can tell you that if you go by that school on the first day of school or any day of school, there is learning taking place. There is structure in there. She has a staff. She's been able to hire. I talked about these certified teachers. She's been able to bring in more certified teachers to be able to teach the students, again, with the type of pedagogy that they need. The students have been able to participate in extracurricular activities. They have an award-winning, nationally recognized cheerleader program over there.
Wow.
That basketball program is great. And so, and a football team is great. So, you know, you're talking about.
They're doing their thing over there.
They are doing their thing over there, which leads to, you know, them eventually being in Woodlawn High School and bringing home more championships. And so
as a feeder school.
As a feeder school.
Okay.
As a feeder school. And the other thing about and what's unique about our students at I See Where is that we have an increased growing population of Hispanic Latino families.
Awesome.
And so when we talk about what are those needs, they're not the same needs as what we have at WJ. And then finally,
I'm glad you really kind of digging deep because what I'm hearing is not you're talking about Latinos, but we're talking about when I asked the question, it was a blanket question. But now what you're doing right now is talking about how you're telling the need. You're being a teller.
Yeah.
You're telling the service to meet the school's needs.
Yeah.
Not one thing fit all schools.
That's it.
You're talking about the different needs here, and you're making sure these schools get their needs met. What may be good for this school may not be good for the next school.
Exactly.
So you're telling the service to meet the school's needs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But understanding that there are needs and resources are needed at each one of our schools, and so we want to make sure that if one school has a program, then certainly if that is a program that fits the needs of those children,
absolutely,
they need to have access to it. And then like the last one I talk about is Dr. Ham. He's also a Miley, and he is a Dr. Ham. He is a doctor. EDS, I believe, but he is a Miley and he's an alpha man. Really brilliant, carries a lot of energy and excitement. Now, our students who are going to Putnam Middle School are coming from our Gate City community and our High Chaparral community. So you're talking about a group of students that we really want to establish pride in these children, like regardless of where you come from, that you have an opportunity to be great. And so what he has is a theme, what they have at their school is a theme. So it's Panther Kingdom. And it's related to the movie Black Panther. So each grade level represents a different kingdom. And so these students, they operate in pride. He lets them know exactly where they're performing academically. They set their own goals. And his team is there, like it's solid. It's just a great. You just have to witness it.
It's a lot of invested people.
It is. So again, when you talk about when you ask the question about the equity piece, like absolutely, all of our students deserve the same access to the same resources and opportunity. But then you got to personalize it. So I'll just end with saying that I have always felt like you have individualized education plans, IEPs that they will put students on. When they have specific needs. I think every school needs an IEP.
Okay.
Because every school comes with its own set of unique needs
and issues
that exist. And so you got to be able to meet them where they are.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great response. I mean,
it's the truth, though. I know I sound like a politician.
No. Hey, but actually, you have to have a good understanding of what that means and what that is, though. Yeah. You can sound like a politician. It doesn't really sound like a politician to me. If you're honest, it sounds like me. I'm a mental health counselor. Yeah. I'm a social worker. So it sounds like when you assess a situation, after you assess the situation, the reason for an assessment is to find out the need. Mm-hmm. And after the assessment, then you tailor a plan to address these needs. Yeah. So to me, it's just saying that you have a good understanding of what needs to take place to make sure that these kids and make sure these schools are getting the things that they need, man. That's all. And if you don't have an understanding of that's just basic. That really is a basic concept, really. If you've been around and you've been employed in certain situations. Yeah. So, but it's great. I smile and I laugh because I like to hear that kind of stuff. Yeah. It makes me excited. Yeah. It gets me going. It gets my motor going. Yeah. And man, it's not, to me, I should have been an educator, though. I should have been because I'm so passionate about kids and I'm passionate about growth. And when I hear and I'm involved in it, in which I am now, it just, man, it's so good to hear, man. And let me just say this too. I love people who give their time and energy for a cause. And one of the greater causes that you can give your time and energy to is kids. Making sure they get, because they are our future, man.
Listen, Mike, you know what I said? Right now we have about a little bit over about 19,000 students in Birmingham City Schools. But what we have to understand is that those 19,000 students are 100% of our future in the city of Birmingham. 100%. So we have to make the right investments.
Yeah.
We have to afford them the opportunity to know just how great and how amazing they are.
Yeah.
And so, and again, it just comes from, I think it comes from right leadership.
Yeah.
It comes from having that stability. And that's the other thing too, that I think is important to recognize, talking about leadership. When we got on the board, prior to 4 years ago, Birmingham City Schools, if you said you just been back about 6 years, but prior to this body, you're talking about 4.5 years, you had 5 different superintendents.
Wow.
And so there was no stability, and then
wow.
We would get out of contracts.
How long?
We would extend, paying people out of contracts, still paying people in contracts now because of, and I'm not pooping on like former board members, but I'm saying that if you don't have good stability, if you don't have that kind of leadership in place that can bring about stability in the district, and that's one of the things that this board has been able to do. We were able to, we got on board, and Dr. Sullivan was the superintendent, and the board prior to us had just signed a contract with him because he came in as an interim. And so, we were able to do a 3-year contract with him. And just last year, last year, we actually extended his contract for 3 more years. And so you're talking about when you can bring that kind of stability, then you're able to put things in place. And that's the other thing that I think is that I'm proud of, even with our schools in District 2, that our principals have been there. It's kind of like, this is football season, and everybody is giving Alabama a really difficult time with the board. Like, where's Nick? Where's it? I'm telling everybody, and
wow,
you got to pump your brakes and just give it a minute. You got to give that leader a chance. His resume says, not only says, but his resume demonstrates that he has won championships every place that he's gone to. But he has to come in, and he's dealing with the same thing that Nick Saban left for. Right? Yeah. So you got to give him a chance to build and create a culture of expectation under his leadership. But once that's done, it's up from there or not. But you still have to give that leader an opportunity to establish themselves. And so once that happens, like, we're former athletes. Like, you can study, you can the X's and O's, run the plays. But I mean, execute. But when it's time to run the play, you can write the play out is what I'm saying. But when it's time to run the play, you got to execute. You got to execute.
Now, here's where I may be a little ignorant. The board, do they appoint a superintendent, or do they vote one in? Or
no, that's a good question. So we actually hire. They're not appointed.
Okay, they hire.
So they are. Is
it hired upon agreement?
It is.
Okay,
so this board has not had to experience a hiring a superintendent, but I have participated in the hiring a superintendent for Birmingham City Schools and other places. Like when I was in Nashville, there was a superintendent search, and so there are ways.
Oh, you lived in Nashville, didn't you?
I did.
That's how I remember that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, that you would typically a board would then invoke the State Department, the Alabama Association of School Board Members, whereby they would then put out a search. If you decided to use that firm, you could use an independent firm that would put out a search for superintendents. Yeah. The board would probably get together and talk about what they're looking for, the qualities that they're looking for. Right. And, the hopes would be that even, if it's amicable, like in our case with our son, which he's not, I don't want anybody to think he's going anywhere. I'm not saying that. We were just talking about what does it look like or what it could look like. But I'll just stop there and say that some districts, some superintendents across the country are elected by the public. Like people literally vote for superintendents. And that happens in some of your rural towns.
Okay, gotcha.
But in Birmingham, the superintendent is hired.
Okay.
Yes, by the board.
But it is hired by the board upon agreement.
Correct. That's good. That's good. Upon agreement. That is correct. And that agreement is going to be a majority vote of 5.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So there are 9
so
of
we're
us
in the same part.
Yep. So the agreement is
that
9 of us.
It's 9. It's got to be 5.
Correct.
Just say okay, gotcha.
Correct.
All right. Well, Dr. Sullivan, how long he's been there now?
Oh my gosh, Dr. Sullivan, born and raised in the Birmingham City School System. He cut his teeth and he's grown his teeth and they're probably about to fall out now. He's been in Birmingham City Schools, not literally y'all, but he's been in Birmingham City Schools like his entire professional career. And so,
shout out to Dr. Sullivan.
Yeah, that's a long commitment. That means he's seen a lot.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dr. Sullivan for navigating this school district through the pandemic.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of deaths. In our student population, from violence or just health conditions or whatever.
Yeah, man. It's
if you ever talk, it'd be cool to have him on here just to talk about not that part, but just what has happened in the district. Then you have staff, and you have you got your own personal life. You have all these things that have an effect on you. But
I just like to learn about him, which is that's my show. That's what I do anyway. So.
That would be great. I have to make sure that afford him an opportunity to connect with you, because I think it would be good. He loves to tell the stories of Birmingham City Schools, recognizing the success starts here is what our hashtag is. BCS has been cool, man. If you watch some of the things that's happening, that's the other thing this board has been able to invest in. Elevating our athletes to a whole nother level. You start talking about athletic competitions. We had Parker High School who was on ESPN last year.
Yeah, and travel and had a team. Yeah, that was a team that come. I think that was
Florida,
big.
Georgia, somewhere.
That was Georgia.
Yeah,
Georgia. That was huge.
It was huge. I mean, it really was. I mean,
shout out to Coach Frank over there at Parker High School, man.
And I love athletics. Yes, the AD there. I love athletics, and I don't want to just kind of single out because we talking about Huffman High School basketball championships back to back.
Absolutely.
Make it to the state playoffs. You're talking about. You got Woodlawn High School. You've got, Woodlawn High School, the new stadium. We invested $6 million into this new stadium.
Oh man, it's gorgeous over there too. I like it.
So deserving for that community.
Yeah,
so,
Woodlawn. I like it.
These things have been done under this board's leadership.
Yeah, man, big ups, man, big ups. Because I mean, I know we're talking to some people that may not be from Birmingham, but Woodlawn, it's not. It's in Woodlawn.
Yeah.
But I see the facilities, man. I passed by there and I was like, that's nice.
Yeah. Our kids deserve it, man. They really do. Like, shout out to the coaches, like former, student athletes played on in the NC2A level. Some play professional football that are coming back and they're investing, through athletes in Birmingham. Like, that's what it takes, and we need.
Yeah, big shout out to Ramsey.
Yes, Ramsey, football championships. Again, and I just think all of this leads back to, like, leadership in the building, having solid people in the building who are making those investments. And so, we just had Miss Cheryl Stewart, who is, top-notch journalist, African-American journalist. She's been nationally recognized by the Black Journalists Association.
Great accolades.
It is. And she has really taken Birmingham City Schools to another level. I mean, you watch the Super Bowl, you caught a Birmingham City commercial during the Super Bowl. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah, don't make it make sense. Go ahead.
Well, you can do whatever you want to do with it, but just know that we're working. There's been great work, and so I'm happy to have been a part of that. But I really am looking forward for the opportunity to continue to serve. There are even greater things that that can and will happen in Birmingham City Schools, and so my colleagues and I, again, we don't always agree. You asked a question about us working together. What does that look like? From a team perspective, it is us coming together, making those difficult decisions. And being amicable with each other. Commitment is one of the things. Like board meetings happen at 5:30 in the evenings. I think the last board meeting that we left, not the last one, but the one prior to. And at any given time we meet, we pull out the parking deck 9:47, 9:53, 10 o'clock at night.
Y'all been there getting, oh man.
It's governance, man. But
it's on YouTube though, right?
It is being live streamed on YouTube, but it's about making the right decisions.
Do y'all get a lot of parent engagement?
We don't, not like we should. We do not. We have people come and show up when they are frustrated by maybe some of the challenges that are happening, and we welcome that. Come on in. In fact, one of my colleagues, James Sullivan, he was really when we first got on board, he was really adamant about the fact that we had public comments after we had made decisions on the things that we were going to be voting on.
Yeah, moved to the front.
And we moved it to the front. Like, well, let's hear, because again, we work for the public, so maybe something that someone says make us say, hold on, do we need to pull this item from the agenda?
Yeah.
Go into a special session and talk about some things, like what is it that we need to do? And so,
how can y'all encourage more family and more parent involvement?
Mike,
I know that maybe that's a loaded question too.
The only thing I can do is get closer to the mic,
yeah,
and tell parents, in the camera, look, show up. Listen,
yes.
I heard Dr. Howard Fuller say to me years ago, if you're not at the table, you on the menu.
Yeah. Oh man. Hey, bars.
And it's true.
Bars, that is.
If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. Every time we come together, every time this board comes together to convene on the second and fourth Tuesday of every month.
Second and fourth Tuesday
of every month.
At
5:30.
At 5:30.
Who do you think is on the menu?
If you ain't there, you on the menu.
Your children are always on the menu.
The children.
Every decision that we make is about the children. So I keep looking at your camera because
no, look at that camera.
We're making decisions about your children. Yeah. So guess what? You should be there.
You should be there.
Yeah.
Why?
And I get it. Parents, you may not always be able to be present, but your voice should be heard. We've created on the BCS website, like there are surveys there. There's a way to give your feedback. We've tried to shift the culture in customer service. How are we doing?
Yeah.
You know, are you calling the school and getting that mean secretary?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah.
You know, do you feel like a child is, you know, unsafe? And let us know.
Yeah.
You know, so we can change what we're doing.
You know, and I got a couple more questions before we end this.
Okay. All right.
I'm thinking like, and I'm thinking about you and how charismatic you are and how engaged you are. Man, I can see, and I'm not trying to put no more on your plate, but I can see you doing something like if the parents are there, you coming to the parents on the social media like this is what we talked about, A, B, and C. I'm just letting you know, you know. Yeah, maybe that's something that you can do in
That's
the past.
true.
Yeah.
And you know what? I have done it a couple times, probably literally a couple times, probably not as much. I tell you what I do, not but do.
Yeah.
Yes, I have
Go ahead.
It's getting late, y'all.
Yeah.
I have a newsletter that I send out every month.
Yeah.
To constituents, like, you know, in the district. So I have a website people can go to, www.neonta4district2.com, and it's not because I'm campaigning, it's always there. You can also go to what's happening District 2 and get the same information.
Yeah,
but you can
the information is out there.
It is. It's out there. It's definitely out there.
Yeah, and I think parents, man, you know, Neonta, you know, not only just Neonta, well, we're talking Neonta right now. Man, look, the information is there, but parents, we need to see parents go out there and just go and get that information and be a part of the district and be a part of your kids' education.
Yeah.
It's important, man. It's 2025, man. I remember we didn't have these opportunities to be a part of our kids' education. And you know, we need to take all the opportunities that we have in front of us to be a part of the kids, your son, your child, your daughter's education. It's important, man. You know, I credit my wife, man. She did such a great job with my kids.
That's awesome. I wish I had the thing I could do in a round of applause, like.
Yeah, she really did, man. And she's a knowing dog. She really is. But I understand. I really do, man, because she, you know, emailing, involved in from start to finish. Even I mean, she's still on my son now in college. So, but
you have to though, Mike. You can't turn it over. That's just the bottom line. You cannot turn it over. It's like having a vehicle and then you take it to McDonald's to get it serviced. I said a vehicle, and you take it to McDonald's to get it serviced.
That is wow.
That doesn't.
You take it through McDonald's drive-through too.
Right. That doesn't make sense.
Sense.
They're not equipped to service your car.
Yeah.
Right. Like so.
They can service you though.
You gotta make sure.
Mac.
That's right. So you do. You have to make sure that are and being clear, like engaged and involved doesn't mean that you're teaching your children what your child's teacher is supposed to be teaching them. That's not what that means. That means that you are a partner. You are in a position to help them help you help your child.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so if that is having the teachers back, if that is sending a text message, how things going, if it is sending an email, not all the time, but just the opportunity to check in. And I'm fully aware because I'm tapping into my community that a lot of our parents don't have time for that. Yeah. Right. Not all the time, but every once in a while,
understand that too.
You do have to tap.
We need to understand that too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's where the village comes in.
Yeah, the village. Oh my God.
That's where the village comes in.
Yeah. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I am talking with Neonta Williams, District 2, Birmingham City School Board Rep, the incumbent. You know, get out October the 7th. Get out and vote, man. You know, make your voice be heard, man, and show up and show out. You know, that is time. You know, she's been in how many years now? I mean,
4 years.
4 years.
It's a 4-year term.
She needs another 4 years.
That's
man.
it.
Yeah, another 4 years to help you, help your kid. Let me get into I'm gonna have to bring this up because it's just important that I do. And I think you know what I'm gonna say, man. But in the past, you have been criticized for advocating for choice. You know. Will you talk about?
You sound so somber. Keep your energy up. You sound so somber.
Yeah,
okay.
You know, I know this, but in the past, you've been criticized by some for talking about choice. Mm-hmm. Talk about that for a minute, and also will you define choice?
Yeah. So let me start with the B part. So the defining choice. So the state of Alabama
Yeah.
In 2013, for the first time, passed a law that gave parents a choice in where their child could be educated. That choice in 2013 was associated with children that were zoned to or attending felon schools. That gave parents a choice to either take their child.
Stop.
Yes, sir.
Say it again. I need you to say that again.
In 2013 was the first time the state of Alabama implemented choice for families who had children who were zoned to and or attending a failing school.
Okay.
That choice gave
zoned to and attending a failing school.
Facts. That choice gave parents to have access to a scholarship that they could use to go to a school of their choice.
Okay.
That school could be another public school that is not failing, or it could be a private school.
Okay.
That was the first time Alabama implemented a school choice law in the state of Alabama, 2013.
2013.
Since 2013, there are a number of school choice opportunities parents now have access to.
Okay.
In 2015, the Alabama School Choice and Student Opportunity Act passed, which is also known as charter school legislation.
Okay.
In 2017, 2019, Alabama passed a bill that allowed families to actually legally homeschool their children.
Okay. 2019,
if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And then just recently in 2024, we had the Choose Act passed, which is like parents could use their ESA, the Education Savings Account funding resources to be able to homeschool their children and have access to money to use for their children. So if a parent homeschooled prior to these laws passing, they were homeschooling out of their own pocket. They didn't get any support. But now the state has made dollars available to them. So I became, and I won't say I became, like a lot of people who are married to a traditional public school system has a problem with me or a challenge with me being a charter school supporter.
Okay.
I'm not a school choice advocate. I'm a parent choice advocate. Let me say the difference. A school choice advocate is someone who is married to a particular delivery system.
Okay.
Some people only like traditional public schools. Some people only like private schools. Some people only like charter schools. Some people only like a homeschool option. Some people now only like a micro school option. Some people are like, oh, I want the blended school option. And everything I just named is what our lawmakers in Montgomery, Alabama made available to all families in Alabama.
Okay.
So I support parents. I'm a parent choice advocate. I believe that as a parent, you should be informed about what the law has made available to you. And then based upon the learning style and needs of your children, you should go and access what choice works best for you. So then the question might be, well, ma'am, if you feel that way, then why are you serving on Birmingham City School Board? What I believe is that every single option that you have access to, it needs to be quality.
Yeah.
So my presence on Birmingham City School Board is to ensure that what we offer is quality at the best level, by putting standards and accountability in place from a governance standpoint to ensure that Birmingham City School is the choice that people want. That is not something else. But let me share this, because I'm always talking to God, and I was like, Lord, I need you to reveal to me what is a better way to sort of articulate why, why people need to stop giving Neonta this pushback around being a charter advocate. What many people probably don't know is that when that law passed, the charter school legislation passed in 2015, Birmingham City School Board of Education became an authorizer of charter schools. So what Birmingham City Schools said, and we still say to this day as a board, that we are open to innovation. If someone comes to this district and the law requires that the district that becomes an authorizer completes a RFP, which is a request for proposal.
Yeah.
That means that the board members have been trained by the Alabama State Department of Education on what being a charter school authorizer is.
Right.
This board, and not just this board alone, but boards since 2015 had been trained on what being an authorizer is.
Okay.
Being an authorizer says that we are going to create our own RFP, which means we have looked at our district. We know what our needs are. We know what our shortcomings are.
Right.
We're going to put a proposal out there asking for anyone who has the ability to meet that need, that they can actually come and apply to us to open up a charter school.
Right.
So it's not Board Member Williams being a supporter of charter schools and trying to push charters.
Like I'm
in line with what the board has already authorized.
Yeah.
This is what the district has said.
Right.
And so a lot of people, and I thank God for his revelation, because it's because it's important for people to be fully informed.
Yeah.
And so it's not Neonta. It is that the board, and here's why I support the board saying that, because Mike, children today are not going to be educated the way you and I were whatever number years ago.
Yeah, no doubt.
Were in kindergarten through 12th grade.
Yeah.
You have children graduating from school now at 14, 15, 16 years old.
Absolutely.
It would be malpractice, in my opinion, for us to continue to think that we're going to inherit a pre-K student and that they're going to stay with us for 13 years in a traditional education environment, when we already offer early college enrollment.
Yeah.
We offer dual college enrollment.
Yeah.
So you offer all of these things. You think you're going to be able to keep a brilliant mind trapped into a building for 13 years when they can already be in college? Yeah. So I think that being an authorizer and getting in the game is a part of being the innovation. Yeah. It's not Neonta trying to push an agenda for anyone to lose a job or have a job. And so that's one of the things that my opponent tends to think is a leg up. But I stand 10 toes down and 10 fingers up saying, this is where I stand.
Yeah.
And when I'm engaging families in District 2 and across the city of Birmingham, when I hear families say, matter of fact, I see families saying, I'm accessing choice. I can't tell you the number of homes I walked up on. They got 3 babies getting out the car.
Right.
One goes to Birmingham City School. One may go to a charter school. The other one may go to a private school with the uniform on. And mom and dad is saying, hey, my baby learns different. This environment works for this baby. Right. This environment works for that baby. It doesn't mean, but if we're in the business of educating children, then we got to make sure what we offer is quality and what they deserve. So my position is, let's make Birmingham City Schools great, so that all of the families will want to come to BCS, because I'm telling you, what we have to offer as a district is incredible. Yeah. And we have people who are coming to the district because they want to take advantage of the early college enrollment program. They want to take advantage of enrollment. They want to have access to our career technology education programs, where our students at Jackson Nolan are getting nursing, where our students at Huffman are getting cosmetology, construction, learning how to build homes, electricians. And so, we have a lot to offer, and we can toot our own horn, but we got to stop playing this game around. Oh, these things are the boogeyman. No, these are things that's going to put us in a position to be innovative. Because going back to our early conversation about what our mayor and our city council and our county commissioners are doing, they're bringing employers to Birmingham. We've got to build. I'm not trying to just build employees through our students, but I am trying to build students and support students being incredibly innovative and thoughtful. At the end of the day, my mantra is, I want our students to graduate not only college and career ready, but I want them to graduate and be prepared to be economically independent. And the way you become economically independent is using your own brilliance and intellect to get there. And that's what our children deserve. Absolutely. Not this rhetoric around the delivery system. And I want to say a quote, I might mess it up, but again, going back to Dr. Fuller, Howard Fuller, he said, we need to be married to, we need to be invested in the reason of a thing, and not the oh my God, what's the word? It'll come back to me. I'm sorry. But essentially, we need to be invested in the reason we want our children educated, but not like how that is done. Yeah. Because you meet people all across the world. You think about it, didn't the gentleman who created Apple, did he not drop out of school? Yeah, he did. Yeah. Like, did he not finish school? So again, just this intelligence and this brilliance that I know. And I think I said this last time, and I know we're probably getting close to closing out, but I genuinely feel like, we think about when God, because everything that I do and believe is undergirded by my faith. And I say this almost everywhere I go. When you think about an apple, you cut that apple open, you can count the seeds in the apple, but you don't know how many apples are in a seed. And you did say that before. Oh, that was deep too. And then the same analogy with a tree, right? God didn't just create a tree to be in a forest to just create shade for no reason, right? To drop pine cones on it. Like, there's fruit that comes off trees. Yes. There's paper that comes from trees. There's pencil that comes from trees. The beds that we sleep in, the desk that you and I are both leaning in on now, it all came from trees. And so God has placed so many things inside of in us as his creation that you don't have to just do one thing. There are so many things. And so we owe it to our children. We owe it to them to put them in a position where that intelligence and that brilliance and that ingenuity and that interest and that innovation, like all of that can come out. And shame on us as adults who try to force somebody into one particular pathway. So that's my truth, and that's just how I feel about it. And I'm really
appreciate
grateful you asked that question.
But I'm grateful that you clarified it and gave people some food for thought, man. I thought that you did a good job explaining that too. What do you see yourself in 5 years professionally?
Ooh, that's good. So in 5 years, I hope professionally that I have been able to mentor someone in the seat that I'm in now, so that I can be able to be prepared to pass the baton and pour back and and continue to pour into and identify other leaders. I think that we lack leaders right now who possess courage and the willingness, and then some people who have the courage, they don't necessarily have the wisdom. And so to be able to be in a position to pour and give wisdom and insight based upon my experiences, to be there. I also hope that I'm probably somewhere chilling, in 5-6 years.
Chilling
out. Seriously, like I'm not that old, but like I'm not trying to work forever.
Like, I feel you now. Come on now.
I wanna be, at the games with my nieces and nephews.
I like that though.
And, my family members. That's just where I see myself. I see myself, trying to be back in my hometown more, and give back because I want them to see, that something great can come out of Gaston. And has come out of Gaston.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. even more. Not that we don't already see that, but even more.
But you want to identify with your people, that's in Gaston. I mean, that's no doubt, man.
Yeah. And I hope that, in 5 years that I've been able to do a work that it speaks for itself. Even now, that's the whole goal, and I hope that I'm pleasing God. I hope that I'm serving even greater in His kingdom. All of those things in 5 years. I hope 5 to 6 years that will be great.
I hope so.
While
too.
Also being on the beach.
Get some sun.
Yes.
Drinking a virgin daiquiri. No, it's just.
Well, Mike, I am an adult.
Grown.
I'm an adult.
She grown, y'all. All right, man. I want to get into some fun questions before we go. I ask them all the time.
Okay.
And it's just good for all of us to kind of relax a little bit because we had some intense conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just jump right into them, man. What is your favorite meal? I'm learning too because this is my friend. What is your favorite meal?
A pork chop. Fried with some mac and cheese. I just started eating steak about 2 years ago, and I really like it. I like me a ribeye.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you never really like steak that much?
Never really like beef that much.
It's funny because I know someone else that like just really kind of shied away from steaks. Really never. And I love steaks. I'm a steak eater.
I mean, now I am. I don't even know what happened. It's 2 years ago. I was in New Orleans, getting ready for like ending Essence and getting ready for a full gospel conference.
Yeah.
And it just hit me. My taste buds was like, "You want a steak?" I'm like, "How do you know I want a steak?" And I went and I found a steakhouse, and I was like, "Oh yeah,
this is what I've been missing.
I like steak."
This thing got my taste buds jumping.
Yeah, but if I had to go to a go-to meal, like for sure, it's give me a good fried pork chop, baked potato, and a salad. I'm good.
I mean, that sounds good. What part of the chicken wing do you prefer? Drums or wings?
Oh, you said you the opposite chicken wing.
Drums or wings?
A drum. That's the flats. Right, drum. No, definitely the flats. Crispy.
Okay.
All crispy. Yeah.
What's your favorite wing sauce?
Plain.
Plain?
Yep.
Man,
just plain.
I got you. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a good question.
Would you rather be rich or famous? Which one you prefer?
I definitely don't want to be famous. These are not good options. Like, give me the favor of the Lord. Like, I'll take favor over rich. But being rich, I can do a lot for other people financially. So I rich. Man, I don't like saying that. But
I would rather be rich than famous.
Yes, I mean, absolutely. I don't want to be famous.
Yeah. No. I would like to be low key with money.
Yes. They'd be like, who is that?
Yeah, who is that? And I ain't got, and then if I'm low key with money, I'm going to bless some folks.
Absolutely.
Too. Yeah.
That's no doubt.
So that's just bottom line.
Yep, no doubt.
What is your favorite R&B singer? Or who is your favorite R&B singer?
Who is my favorite R&B singer? Oh, that's a good question. That's tough, Mike, because I love music, so it's hard to narrow down to one artist. But I'm a big fan of like Eric Roberson.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. PJ Morton. You didn't ask me for two, but they're in that family. But I really like Eric Roberson.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I want you to fill in the blank on this, and it's the last one.
Okay.
I want you to fill in the blank. Your childhood crush is who?
Oh. You're not getting me in trouble.
You don't have to answer either.
My daddy.
Yeah, you can decline.
My daddy. Oh my God.
That was a good one.
No, I got an answer for you though.
Yeah.
Real talk.
Go ahead.
Michael Jackson. Like who in my era, like we all thought I just knew Michael Jackson was gonna marry my mama. Nowhere near my mama. Like I want him to be my stepdaddy.
Now my childhood crush is Janet Jackson.
I knew you was probably gonna say that because that's our era, right?
Yeah.
That's our era.
Yeah. Janet was like, man, I'm gonna get with Janet soon.
Yeah.
So
you never know. I'm not saying that Mrs. Steele. I'm not saying that.
Hey, Trina, you already know. We laugh and talk about it. Yeah, and you better quit looking at The Rock when he come on TV too.
Oh, that's why you got the arms like that too. You trying to stay in the game.
Yes. So, hey, Neonta, I want to thank you for coming on, man. It's been a blessing to have you on. And for you to share your platform with me, and for you to talk about, man, the work that you're doing, man. If you will, give the listeners and the people that's following you and the people that's interested in what you're doing, let them know how to connect with you, please.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Mike. You definitely can find me, as I shared earlier, on my website, Neonta for District 2, and those are both numbers, a 4 and a 2. .com. That's also all of my social media handles. So whether you find me on X, Instagram, Facebook, and I'm even on Fanbase, which is an African American platform that is just like, I think we talked about this last time. It is just like Instagram, but it's Black owned, it's Black operated, really cool platform. But yes, that's where you can find me.
Yeah, and tell people to get out and vote, man.
Yeah.
And tell them when and where.
Y'all, with all the sincerity in my heart, if you do not live in District 2, but you know someone who lives in District 2, every vote counts. I'm in this runoff election because of 11 voters that I'm incredibly grateful for, but I also want to encourage you to get out on Tuesday, October the 7th, 2025. Polls open at 7 a.m. and the polls close at 7 p.m. What we didn't talk about, Mike, real quick, I want to shout out my neighborhoods, right? Because I want to make sure I say all the right neighborhoods. But District 2 is located on the eastern side of town, and it encompasses the 3 schools that we talked about, W.J. Christian, Putnam Middle School, and I C. Ware Mitchell Middle School. We have about 9 neighborhoods. That is Brown Springs, Crestline, Crestwood South, Eastwood, Overton, Roebuck Springs, South Roebuck, and Southeast Lake. So we are as far as Huffman High School, all the way down to John Rogers Boulevard, which is where the dog tracks is, in the community across the street. And then we go all the way down Highway 280, believe it or not. And then we kind of circle back and come around, and we're next door to Mountain Brook. So lots of folks who live in District 2 and a really broad district. And so, if you can just encourage someone to turn out to vote, it is extremely important.
That's it.
It is my hope that you are voting for Neonta. I hope that you've heard something that says this young lady knows what she's doing and deserves an opportunity to continue to serve. And I appreciate it.
Man, absolutely welcome, man. Y'all get out and vote, man. October the 7th. Get out, get in gear, man. Go vote. Vote for Neonta Williams. Vote for the best candidate, man. Make sure your voice is heard.
You said the best candidate. I said Neonta
Williams. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And just, hey, man, continue to grow, man. And I respect what you're doing. And, man, I'm so proud of you. And I'm definitely proud of you and all the work that you've done. Like you mentioned earlier, that you remember when we was younger and we was all trying to figure this thing out. And look at us now, man. Just, we are our parents these days, and we raising a generation of young people to come behind us and do some of the great things. So, man, keep doing what you're doing, And guys, man, look, it's important that you know this. Either you are part of the problem and part of the solution. You got to ask yourself, which is it? And I would like for you to be part of the solution, man. Until next time, get your behind out and vote. October the 7th, get up and get out and vote, man. And I'll see you at the polls, man. Real Talk with Mike Steele. We're out of here. Next time, love, peace, hair grease. Peace.